Welcome back to Accessory School Model. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review of this, which is the Monogram Lamborghini Diablo VT. Now, if you're like me, I do love a Lamborghini. They're my favourite cars. I grew up with a Countach poster on my wall. I've got Revell and the Diablo is the pre-run to that, which is a fantastic looking car. This is from Monogram 124 flavour. I'm just going to take this plastic cover off because, as you can see, I've had this kit now for a couple of years. I bought this to do this for my son. I've had it a couple of years, and I thought, well, fine, I keep meaning to review it. In fact, I think if you go back to some of the old news shows about over a year ago, I've said, oh, I'll review this next month and never got around to it. So now I'm going to review it because I'm hoping to do it next year. So on the box, as you can see, lovely little picture. Okay, just fantastic. It's a Lamborghini. What else can you say? On the box itself, it's got basic modelling tips, blah 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 blah. You've got paint guides, so it's nice to see that on the outside of the box. It's got this little Lamborghini genuine flashy thing there, I suppose. On the other side, again, you've got some features about it, you know, how big it is once it's built up, what it's moulded in, what you can do with it. So you can open the engine, it's just good suspension details, classic insignia. Lamborghini is all about attitude, blah 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 blah. So just a load of hyperbole basically. Skill level is on there. System is at 10, which is a 2, which is a 10 plus, a moderate. So let's get inside the box. Okay, so the box itself is very weak. It does come wrapped up as you saw, so it's sealed, but the box itself is very thin and flimsy and everything. But you do get a nice amount of plastic in there, I have to say. This over there. Okay, now one thing I did like straight away. One thing I did like straight away about this is, you know, it looks like, I don't know, they're not in separate bags. I'm going to say they're all in separate bags, but they're not. So we'll forget that. So we'll have a look at the main. Let's look at the main bag first. And I'm not sure how old this is, but it's from Monogram, so which are an older company, but I don't think it's that old a kit. We should have a look. So we'll pop all these over here. So we'll have a look at the main body first, which is in its own separate bag, which is great. So obviously this is the shape of the Diablo, and it's a tough white plastic. It's one of those plastics that if you sand it, you do not use a coarse sander because they will gouge this hard plastic really badly, and it's very hard to get out once you've gouged it. The lines themselves, I'd say they're actually a little bit soft, but then they shouldn't be too hard for a car, I wouldn't imagine. Not like on an aircraft. It's a nice size. I mean, that's my hand. I haven't got small hands. Fits nicely in there, so it's going to be a nice size once it's done up. Little bit of mold release agent on there, I think, so it might need a wash up before you do it. I think because of the finish you get on cars, you need to get on cars as well. I think all your parts are going to need to be washed and then stuck in an airing cupboard overnight to dry off properly, or if you don't have that, hair dryer or whatever. Really got to try not to get water droplets on there as well. But inside, as you can see, it looks like it's got some locating pins there, here and there. But it looks like a nice moulding. As I say, it is a little bit soft. I don't know if it should be harder or not, but I mean, I haven't reviewed many cars. I think one or two others, if that. One, I know one for sure, but that was a military one. So yeah, so that looks quite nice. I already like the shape of that. I'm already thinking, oh, I want to build that now. So come on to this sprue here. Now, we've got the seats. I've got these bucket seats here, which look fine. They've got this slight material, leathery feel to them, which is great. So hopefully that should take a wash and you'll be able to pick those little wrinkles out. You've got the dashboard here, ever such a large dashboard. The steering wheel, now there is quite a bit of flash here. Let me zoom you in a bit just so you can see. As you can see here, there's quite a bit of flash inside the steering wheel. So it's going to need a bit of tidy up, quite a bit of tidy up really, with one of these very thin bladed scalpel, scraping it around. You're not going to be able to get a sander in there. So some work going to be needed on that. I would imagine the steering wheel is quite a, looking at this, I would say this is an older kit. there's a bit of flash and burr around every bit of plastic, to be honest with you, so it's going to need some tidy up and some work. You've then got the rocker covers there, they look nice. Again, it's just a little bit on the soft moulded side, I have to say. We'll have a look in the instructions, see if there's a date on this kit a little bit later. But the steering wheel is definitely a letdown. It's going to need some work. You got the fan belts there and everything as well, and the pulley on the starter motor. Again, that's going to need a bit of work. It's got a bit of flash around it as well. Onto the next screws. Nice, you get a good few screws with this as well. So on this one, you've obviously got the interior of the car and part of the suspension. Again, all these little bits of the suspension and things have got burr around, so you're going to have to tidy everything. I think you're going to have to tidy everything up. The good thing, where it's a car, it's not an aeroplane, it's not loads of fiddly bits, it's very recognisable, all the parts. You can take them all off the sprue, tidy it all up first. I'll just have a tidy session, put it back in the box, come back the next day and just build. That's what I usually do with things like this. Usually you need a numbered sprue map on aircraft and tanks and things like this, but something like this, I think you know where that goes. You know, it's not going to be too hard to figure it out. But every little bit's got burr on it, so every edge is just going to need a little bit of trimming and things like that. But again, I've got to say, I'm not a fan of this white plastic. I don't like it. You get the Revell, well, Revell do a lot in it, like their Battlestar Galactica stuff and things like that. When you sand it, you've got to be very careful because you really do gouge it out. Yeah, there you go. Copyright 1994 inside here. So this is quite an old kit now. It's 20 years old, so it's quite an aged kit. But so it does. You've got to expect a little bit tied up if it's going to be that old. The speakers look a bit pants. I'm going to say they're just circles in the door there. They've got no cross hatch on them or anything like that. So that's going to be a bit pants. What I might do is get a scalpel and very carefully, lots and lots of little scores in there in those circles, just to maybe make the speakers pop a little bit. But apart from that, you know, it's the white plastic. I don't like it. This sprue's a little bit better with regards to flash and burn. There's not that much on there. But I mean, something like this, I think I bought this for my son to build and put in his room, and I will continue. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a shelf up for him anyway, so I think it will go on there. I think I'll get, if I was going to do one for myself, I'd get one of the newer kits like Asimo or something like that. I'm thinking of Fukujima or something. I know there's a couple of brands out there that are quite expensive, but they're really top notch apparently. So on this one, you've got some exhaust pipes, some prop shaft, some suspension, obviously the rims. They look like the outer rims that way. We've then got another part of the engine. But again, not too much time. Just have a look on the spring, see if there's much tidy up on there. And there is a line down the edge of the springs here. So again, going to need a bit of work, bit of tidy up. Got the windscreen wipers there that don't look particularly great either. So they're going to need a bit of working on. We've then got the chrome parts. Now, I recently did a model with some chrome parts, and I'm doing a Beetle for a friend because he loves these Beetles. He's got one of these Beetles, so I've managed to find a Beetle and do it for him. Now I basically took 2 sprues of this sort of stuff, put it in a tub, and just left it overnight. Now one sprue on the grey plastic, on the grey styrene, one sprue, chrome came off in 10 minutes. Literally came off, fell off. I just picked it up, no chrome on it at all. The other sprue was a white sprue like this, and it took 2 weeks in bleach, 24/7 for it to come off. And unfortunately, this is on a white sprue by the looks of it. So, I mean, it's going to be. Let's just have a quick look, because if it's a white sprue, I know it's going to take ages and ages and ages and ages. Yeah, so that's on a white sprue. So unfortunately, getting this chrome off is going to be a real bitch. And the trouble is, where you leave it in the bleach so long as well, because it's a little bit soft, you have to let it harden up again. But anyway, I mean, you can't leave it like that because it just looks awful. Yeah, chrome engine. Yeah. So you've got the two main blocks there, the V's, the exhaust system. Again, that's all going to need to be stripped and everything. The rims, they're just too shiny. Again, they've got to be stripped and redone with outclads and things like that. Moulding, again, as I said before, it's all quite soft, and obviously the chrome over the top doesn't help. It makes it even softer. Just lessens the definity of the plastic. So that's all going to come off. It's going to be one of those I'm going to do for my son. I think this isn't a showpiece for sure. I'm sure there's people out there that have made this absolutely fantastic with a lot of time, love and effort. Now the glass, as you know, glass is very important, especially in a car, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be looking through. So let's just get you in a sec here. Okay, so the glass here it's clean, it's crisp. There's a little bit of warpage in there, not a great deal, as you can see, not too much. It's scuffed a little bit. I mean, you know, sometimes you get car model, new aircraft models these days that come in where all the clear parts are wrapped in their own little bit of polystyrene to stop any rubbing, because it's got just little bits here and there of rubbing, which, you know, to get that out, you're gonna have to do the whole, you know, just rub it up the whole thing with one of our buffers, one of these. It's a two-step process, but it's one of these things that, you know, you're gonna have to do the whole lot just to make sure it all matches up, and that's gonna need. I would dip that. I would obviously have a chat to the car guys before I did this, because I've never done one before, but I would say that would need a dip as well after you've done on that. But the plastic itself, you know, it doesn't look like glass though, unfortunately. You can tell it's an older kit because the plastic, it's got, I don't know if you can pick it up in there, but it's got slight warpage in it and things like that. And you can see with the way the light is refracting around that plastic, I can see it, but it's got like 2 dents here and there just in the screen. It doesn't seem to be picking up on the camera, but they are there. So it's not going to look fantastic. It doesn't look like a windscreen. You can tell it's plastic, which is a bit of a shame. It's a bit thick as well. I would imagine the newer ones are a bit thinner. So not particularly great on the glass. I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think I got it on a sale, and it was quite cheap. As I say, I did buy it quite a while ago. You then got the tyres. The tyres are rubber, ever so shiny, as you can see, way too shiny. So they're on sprues. You've got to cut them off. They've got the noggins on, so they're going to need tidy up. They've got a little bit of flash around the middle that's going to have to come off, so they're going to need a lot of work. The detail in the tyre, the tread is awful. I would probably, if I was making this model for myself for a show model, I would definitely see if there were aftermarket tyres for that, because they're just rubbish. Completely. I mean, they really are just. I think it's just a cheap Revell kit, isn't it? Monogram. So those are okay. As I say, luckily I bought this for my son. I shall try and do this as quick as possible. This one. You then got some little red tail lights there. Okay. Again, you'd probably want to. I don't know. They'd probably be okay. Bit hard to tell without them being on the model and painted, but they may be. They may need a little work as well. So not as excited as I was before I opened this, I have to say, about this kit. We've then got the decals. Obviously the decals are, let's just put that up a little bit. You've got the decals here. We've then got the center console, dashboard. Looks like we've got 2 different ones there. We've got these very large number plates for the rear. You know, obviously I think I'll go with the black Lambo one. And then we've got some signatures, insignias. The decals themselves, it's very hard to make out the Lamborghini bull on there. I must say they're not very good decals either. The good thing is the carrier film doesn't go way over the transfer itself, although they are rather thick by the looks of them. So it's a case of, again, not particularly great. You know, a lot of manufacturers with these old kits, I think really, you know, sometimes if they've been selling a kit, flogging a kit to death for 20 years, maybe they could just do 1 or 2 things, maybe update the decals and things like that. I don't think it would hurt them. The instruction manual is a bit fatter than A4 size. It's black and white. I'm just trying to see if it's one of your typical Revell ones. Oh no, it's actually a booklet form. So it tells you a bit about the Lamborghini on the front page. You've then got a customer service number, which is nice, and an English number there as well, 0800. I don't think that was English actually. Inside you've then got paint guide. It just says aluminium, flat grey, metallic orange, semi-gloss for steel, turn signal amber, and whatever body colour you want to make it. Now, it doesn't give you any call outs for the paint, so it's up to you which one you use. I think I personally wouldn't go for the orange, I'll go for the lime green. I love the lime green Lamborghinis, but I'm not sure if they did a Diablo in one, so I'd have to check my references on that. I'd probably do a yellow one if I didn't. You've then got this numbered part name bit here, as you can see. It's quite a large book and it's not fitting in the whole screen, but you can see you've got a numbered part list, and it's in French and it's in French and Spanish. Oh, I can read that one then. But that's in French and Spanish, and you've got all these parts, 180 parts, numbered. And as you can see, the good thing is you can take it with this. You can take it off the sprue, and you'll be able to see what. As I say, I think every piece needs clean up, so you want to take it all off the screw. We'll do a sprue at a time, you know. But as you can see, it's a very old drawing. It is old-fashioned. It is an old kit. It's like this reminiscent of Revell and FX, the old thick line stuff, and pop this there, pop this there. So first page, build the engine block up. Second page, pop it into the chassis, the lower chassis, and then add the manifolds, axle, other odds and sods. I've got to say, I would build that whole block up first and do that as one single piece. It may be a case where I'd actually glue it together and then stick it in the bleach. I think that might be easier than waiting 3 million years other way. But then you've got the lower chassis, then putting the tub on and everything, and the upper bodywork, the inside of the bodywork, and everything around the engine, and then its wheels. You don't put the wheels on, you never put them on then they go on last. Tells you how to fit the wheels together and things like that, rear wheel arches, front wheel arches, and then you've got to start putting the interior together. Now, I've never built a car. I don't know if you build them in two halves and things like that. I mean, obviously the body you would paint and spray before you did anything, put it on or anything like that. So I would imagine you'd build all this together and then spray it before you put it on the model here. And then it's got the rear valance and everything. It goes over the exhaust, and then you've got your paint cord out there. It doesn't, as I say, it doesn't give you a body colour. You can pick your own body colour. So a little bit of research there. It just says where you put your decals and everything. Not many places. As I say, they're not very good, and they don't really pick up the Lamborghini boil, which is, they're not very well printed. So overall, I would have to say that I'm definitely not as excited of building it as I was before the start of the review, but I can't remember how much I paid for it. I really have no idea, so I can't say for value for money off the top of my head. I think I only paid about 15 quid for it, and if that's the case, then it's not a bad deal, because you build up a reasonably nice. You can even see on this picture here how soft the moulding is. You can see from the picture that it's really soft mouldings, and it's all a bit spongy. But I think that'll be nice. I think that'll be a quick build, quick clean up, pop it together. It'll be a good practice for me for a car, because I'm not going to do it as a show car. I'm going to do it for my son. So the only thing I'm going to get is a nice candy colour for the bodywork, which will probably be an Alclad colour. I love Alclad, it's a favourite paint. So I've just noticed that they even cocked up on the painting on the box art. So I think for me, if you get serious modelling, you want to do this kit seriously, then it's a low 6. But if you want to do it and bash it up and do it for your child and everything, it's a 6 or a 7. It depends how much you pay for it. I certainly wouldn't be happy paying more than £15 for that, because it's not going to make a nice model once it's finished, unless you spend a lot of time and effort. And I think you can spend an extra 20 quid and get a fantastic, what's the name of it? Fujima and Azumo, something like that. I've looked at them, I just can't remember their names, so you don't have to correct me, people. But anyway, so I would say that's a 6.5 at very, very best. That is the Monogram 124/Revell 124 Lamborghini Diablo VT. Such a shame it's not as good as I thought it might be. Alright, until next time, take care, bye bye.